like an analyst, giving that info and breaking it down. If you don't know, better listen up now. Chatting out facts straight loud and proud. It's Chongas talking loud.
Talking loud with Chong. Rap another Rizzler or just hit another bong. If we're talking weed, you gotta smoke it till it's gone. Backstrap, bill it, quick time, nothing long. Sharing different views, discussing different topics. UK or Cali, it's always exotic. Do you like soil? Do you like hydroponic? Sativas are great, make you move like Sonic.
Yo. It's only 10-10 that I blaze, white ash when I like this grades. I'm with Chongas, the past them chonging me, talking loud, what we smoke on ain't the same. I'm in the UK right now, but this ice cream cake got me up in space. You can't bring that cat to the table, we stay sharp and the blunts get raised. You can't come around here with your dead pack, don't pass me a spliff, best dead that. DJs reload when I say edge that, know my name, only right that I bless that.
How you doing, guys? Welcome to Talking Loud with me, Chongas 420. Hope you're all well. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for the audience for coming down. Hey. And obviously welcome to our very first guest, Drew Gilchrist, everybody.
Welcome everyone.
Cheers for coming down, mate. I really appreciate you coming down and spending the time with us to talk about Loud.
Lovely to be here.
Top man. We have a couple of bits of flour on offer. We've got the 1010 Maine Lobster. Which is obviously fire, absolute fire. But then I've got the other side of it, which is the no-till Medigrow, which is absolute. You smoked this before, right?
Oh yeah,
This is the Rainbow Belts.
Anyone who's watched my streams knows that I love both of these. So.
Yeah, exactly that. Obviously, I've done my research, mate. I've known you for a little while, so it's it was only a pleasure to. When you said, yeah, I'll come on, mate. So I really appreciate you coming on. The first show, guys, obviously, we're talking loud. We're going to bring in-depth knowledge. And we're going to try and bring stories like Drew, how they first started, how they got into cannabis, their journeys and where they're going. And, it's only a pleasure to introduce Drew. And welcome to the show, mate. First and foremost, it's all about billing it, bro. So, and I see you've got one already rolled, mate. What you rolled up?
I've got this Maine Lobster on the go right now. And
10-10.
I spend ages lighting my joints, so it's probably going to be like another 3 minutes until it's actually going. But you've got to have it perfect. If it's not perfect, then what's the point?
So, for anyone who doesn't know you, sort of tell us a bit about yourself, what you do amongst the UK cannabis industry.
Yeah, I make YouTube videos about cannabis, and I've been making YouTube videos for 11 years, but I only started making videos about bud maybe around 2015, 2016 was when I first started stepping into it, and I think back then my channel was like 40,000 subs, and now we're at like 300,000.
That's some serious numbers, bro.
Yeah, that like
serious numbers.
It does get wild sometimes. Like, and when we talk about serious numbers, like I think I had 1 month this year where I had 4 million views in a month, and like 400,000 of them were like unique from England or from UK, which is a stupid amount of people.
That is crazy numbers, mate.
Yeah.
Crazy numbers. I mean, I'm on Instagram myself. Got a little YouTube channel that I've just started. Obviously, a massive inspiration to me was yourself. It's so hard to find the content regarding cannabis.
Oh yeah.
In regards to age restrictions, in regards to all the rules and regs, and how did you sort of first start to get into like the YouTube and that? Or maybe let's bring it back and say, what do you remember your first joint?
Yeah. I mean, so this is way before. Well, actually, I say way before the YouTube days. It's way before I started making videos about weed. So when I first started making videos, it was just like normal vlogs, like topics. I think I started making videos when I was like 13.
Cool.
But coincidentally, I also smoked my first bit of weed when I was 13. So
creative buzz.
Yeah. Which actually, I'll tell this story because I think it's quite funny. It fits quite well here. Which is, I remember the person I actually smoked my first joint with. We were in Woodtech together, and we sat next to each other. I think we were like doing something with the Vice or whatever. And teacher walks out. We're just chatting about weed, and he says to me, "Oh, you know, you've been doing your YouTube stuff, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You know, people make a living off that." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Bro, imagine if you just smoked weed on YouTube, and then you could just smoke weed for a living." And I shit you not, I turned to him, I looked him dead in the eye, and I said, "Bro, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You're not allowed to do that." And I just turned back to my stomach and kept going in it. So the mad foreshadowing. Yeah, but the first joint I ever smoked was with that guy, and it was some cheese.
Cheese,
yeah. Got
Any
it in a bit
particular
tinfoil.
cheese, or just do you remember it just being cheese?
No, I just remember it being cheese. I would assume it was Exodus because it was like, you know, you put that in a bag, you put it in another bag, you put it in another bag, you spray it with deodorant, and you
Still
put that
smells.
like behind something and spray that whole spot with deodorant, and it still stinks the
Still
house
humming.
out. Yeah, before you've even rolled any of it.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
This is mental. It's,
Had to have been Exodus. Had to have been.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite strains.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cheese, Exodus cheese.
Sadly,
Absolute.
it's just gone.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it's just died out. I mean, back when was that? When was your first joint?
Fuck the year. I'm 25 now. So it would have been the summer of 2008.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. 20 years, yeah.
And I remember the only reason I actually smoked bud that time was because I was on the bus on the last day of school before summer, and everyone's telling like their summer plans and all that, and I was about to say somebody's name then. I'm not going to say somebody's name, but this person I knew, they go to me, oh, yeah, I was smoking this weed with my brother and like all this, and they're like, Drew, you smoked weed, right? And I'm like, no. I'm in like year 7, but they're like, oh, out of everyone, I would have expected you to have smoked weed. Again, more foreshadowing from all of my peers,
Assumptions.
but I was like, nah, I never smoked before, and that was in my head. I was like, oh, well, if that person was like a normal person, like they weren't like what you would consider to be like a drug person, right? So when I'm like a kid and I'm thinking weed and I'm thinking drugs, but then I see this like normal person smoking a bit of weed in the calm, that stuck with me a bit. I was like, oh, well, it must just be an alright thing to try. So I tried it out.
Do you remember your high? Do you remember the actual high of the first joint?
Yes.
As well?
Yeah.
How was that for you?
I just remember giggling a lot. I didn't get the giggles too much except for the first couple times I smoked, but I remember the way we managed to smoke without anyone's parents knowing was I was at my mate's house, and somehow we managed to convince them to just like camp in the garden. And obviously, so if we're camping in the garden, we're just billing it up in the tent and then smoking it outside, right?
Perfect.
But like we went back into the tent, and I just remember like laying down, closing my eyes, and just like having the wildest thoughts about just everything. It was so good. Like,
got
so
all creative in the in the mind. It's, I remember my first high was hash. So
hash.
I just got the absolute giggles, and that was puffy eyes, giggles, and then got home and raided the fridge.
Damn.
That was my first ever experience. But
dude, I was super late into hash. Like super late. I think I didn't smoke hash until I'd been smoking weed for like 5 years.
See, I'm 40, so back then flower was really hard to get hold of. It was literally, you either knew someone who grew. There was no one spoke about it. It wasn't sort of freely spoken about like it is now. You know, you couldn't get information on how to grow or anything like that. It was sort of
all forums and that. If you were going on the internet and shit, like you'd have to go to the library and fucking try and find some random book from
you'd
somewhere.
Have to go to the library and find a cannabis book and sit there and read it, and then you'd just be paranoid that someone would report you for going and reading the cannabis.
I didn't even think about that.
Go to the garden centres to get your soils and things like that, and obviously your tomato grows.
Damn, I bet back then, like, the garden centres must have been popping for growers.
Yeah, cool. Like, so you get someone to come in and order, 20 bags of tomato grow. You knew he wasn't growing tomatoes, you know what I mean? At 25 years old, like, and he's a bit about himself.
Also, bro, this is fucking banging. No cap, I don't know what batch of this Maine lobster this is, but I smoked the Maine lobster, like, a week ago when it first landed, and my batch was nice, but this is fucking 10-10. This is way better than the batch I had.
It is absolutely superb. I'm not going to name names, but we was plugged right on this show. Obviously with the no-till Medigrow and the Maine lobster. It's I love it. I absolutely love it. Obviously you like lobster, to eat.
Yeah.
Same. I love my seafoods and stuff like that, and to actually taste it.
Does it taste like lobster?
I think so. Like lobster tail. It's got that meaty.
I thought the only reason they called it lobster was it tastes kind of buttery, and you put loads of butter on lobster.
That's maybe what it is, but there is definitely.
But that's not confirmed or anything. I haven't. That was just my full assumption.
There is definitely a resemblance for me when I taste it in taking me back to a lobster meal. Whether it's that name, whether it's I expect that taste, I don't know. Whether it's psychological.
I do kind of get it a bit more with this one though. With the one I was smoking before, it was more buttery.
Smelling it, bro. It smells like But yeah,
Bro,
absolute fire. Absolute fire.
That is.
Come on, mate. So anyone who knows Drew's rolls, they'll know he rolls in a specific way.
Oh yeah.
Quite well known for it. The little tip on the ash as well.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that I did that until Josh from Raw pointed it out.
So you got quite a good connection, quite a good relationship with Raw, yeah?
Yeah. I've known Josh for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, this is actually an interesting one. I've never told anyone this, except for like if you were in the saga when it fully happened, because I think I was on stream when it all happened. But like 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago ish, I put out a video about how to tell if Raws were fake or real, and I maybe gave like 8 or 9 tips to know. And Josh actually came back to me and said 2 of those tips can actually just be like an error on our part, so it doesn't necessarily mean they're fake. And he said out of all the papers that I had, one of them was actually real, that I said was fake. But obviously most of the information was pretty correct. Yeah. But he obviously messaged me to be like, oh, could you make an update video and like show all this stuff? And you know, and ever since then we just became really good mates in DMs.
So for anyone who is looking to find that video, where would they go?
Oh, you'd have to go on my YouTube channel, and I think I have just a video called Real Raw versus Fake Raw, I think that's what it's called. It's from 2019, so...
For me, it's obviously if you get people that are coming into this and being new to the cannabis industry and, you know, they're coming across this video, coming across yourself, it's great knowledge to put out there is the best papers to use, to find the fakes, because there is so many, mate, so many. There's obviously the test I know, which is the heat
the gum line, yeah. So that's actually a thing. Josh had never told anyone that until I made my video, because I think the mindset of that was, well, I don't want to tell people that, so that way the fakes
they copy it.
I don't want the fakes to copy it, right? But I think he had the realization of, oh, wait, the gum's way too expensive for the fakes to actually do that
if they do copy it, they're doing it right.
But yeah, like a week after I made that fake versus real, oh, did you like it? Just break.
Did you see that?
It just broke live.
How's your luck, bro? Luckily enough, I was prepared.
But yeah, I think because originally he was like, oh, can you put out a video and say this new tip, which was the gum line thing? And I think I even said to him, like, bro, at the end of the day, I can do that. Why would people believe me? Like, you know, same with, like, obviously I can do my tips and people be like, oh, this is something he's come up with himself. Yeah. But if Josh puts up a video saying this is how to do it...
no better than hearing it from the horse's
Exactly,
mouth.
yeah. Now it's a big thing. Like, everyone knows about that now.
Definitely. Most people... I mean, I still, obviously, having the coffee shop, the studio, which is where we're at now, and thanks to the guys at the studio for setting it all up and laying it on for us.
Always lovely to be here.
Yeah, it's good. It's a great little venue, isn't it?
Oh,
it's a great little place, mate. It's good vibes and that. So, but being behind the side of it and teaching people that, there's not many people that come through, actual smokers. They'll just come through and they put their Rizzlers down, their Raws down, and I just go, I know straight away by the colour.
Yeah.
I can just see it and I go, they're fake. And they go, how can you tell? Okay, let me teach you something.
Yeah.
And then they come back and they're always, oh, I can't believe how many shops sell fake Raws. Like,
bro, before the gum line thing, it was all about the serial number. And even then, that was one of the tips where occasionally, not often, but occasionally, Raw's serial number printer will break. Yeah. And for them, what are they going to do? Are they going to not sell millions of packets of Raws because their thing's broken, or are they just going to sell them without the serial number? Of course, they're just going to sell them without the serial number. But a lot of the fake ones always don't have the serial number, right? So
it's worth then. That's a highlight towards your test.
At that point, it's kind of like, well, fuck it. It's better to have it than not have it. Yeah. In my mind, because it's like, at least if it doesn't have it, it could be real, but chances are it's fake. But if it does have it, then it's like 100% real at the time. Yeah. Now the fakes have the serial numbers on it, so it doesn't matter anymore. But back then, bro, I used to walk into corner shops. I'd be like, can I check if your raw blacks are real? I'd be like, how'd you do that? I'd be like, chuck me a pack, and then give me a pack, and I'd rip it open. And I'd look at the serial number, and if there's a serial number there, I'd be like, they're real, they got a serial number on it, calm, and I'd pay for it. And then if I ripped it open and it didn't have a serial number on it, I'd be like, there's no serial number, it's fake. And I'd just chuck them back and leave, innit?
Nothing they can do, but it's the same. I'm finding it everywhere with the cones as well. There's a reason I
Bro,
switched.
I think raw black cones just came out. And like, fakes have been about for time. Unless I'm just thinking about the big 20 box that's just come out. Yeah. But I've seen people with raw black cones for ages. And then I met Josh in person, and he gave me some raw black cones and some raw black hemp cones, and he was like, these are unreleased. And I was like, oh, does that mean every raw black cone I've seen before then was fake?
Oh my god, no. But I was sick to death of keep chasing for the raws. I loved raws. I was a big raw fan. I still am. I won't knock a raw.
You're on your 2 Louds now, right?
But yeah, I'm absolutely in love with my 2 Louds. They're the UK brand, obviously, and
Big
yeah,
sponsor of my channel as well. So.
Are they? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, good stuff. Yeah, he's an absolute top man as well. Guy who runs it, Jason. He's
Lovely guy, man.
He is a really nice guy. But yeah, I'm really really a fan of their Rizzlers. I find them a lot smoother. Now, I don't know just whether that's in my head or what, but it's I find them, and also there's no fakes.
Yeah, true.
So
no
I
fakes.
go direct to the source. I can go direct to the source by.
And even if you did see some in a shop, you know they're not going to be fakes, innit?
No, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, why doesn't Josh just open a raw shop? Authentic.
So the way Josh does everything is raw don't ever sell direct to consumers. I think it's something to do with like US law. And
Okay.
I don't want to say too much on camera because I don't want to be speaking for
No,
Josh
of
on this
course,
stuff.
yeah,
but
of course. I mean, yeah.
I think that's the bare bones of it. It's just, even if that's not correct with the US stuff, but they definitely just don't ever sell direct to consumers. They have to just go to licensed distributors and then.
From there.
Those
I mean, we
guys,
have got a couple of them licensed.
Yeah,
Stockers,
yeah.
haven't we,
I
in
think
the
we've
UK.
only got like 2.
Is it 12?
Yeah.
Registered 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
But obviously the wholesalers will also get real ones, so you know, wholesale.
I mean, we go to bookers for a lot of ours in the coffee shop, to be honest, because I trust that they're authentic.
Yeah.
So, and they've always been on point, to be honest. I've never had to check them. But yeah, that's Rizzler's taken care of, mate. But yeah, moving on. Would you say that you chase the terps or the high?
Probably both.
Yeah.
Just in the sense of like, I would smoke bud that. Like I would smoke bud just for the terps, if that makes sense. Like, even if the bud didn't get me high at all, I'd probably smoke it for the terps because I love some good terps. But
So what about CBD?
CBD weed doesn't have any good terps. Has anyone in this room smoked CBD flower with good terps?
H-Town hemp.
No.
I have.
Yeah?
H-Town hemp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the only.
That's surprising.
It was the only CBD. I'd done the Canna Lab Awards. So we set up the Canna Lab Awards. I was then a judge for the hash. I was on the hash side, but I did get to taste some of the flower, and it was H-Town hemp that won it. And mate, it was amazing.
Oh shit, that's
It was
sick.
amazing. Like, really.
Well, I need to clarify something as well, because although I say I would smoke like CBD flower if it did have like really nice terps and I would smoke it, it wouldn't be my daily smoke, right?
No.
Like it's just I don't know.
For me, it was an anxiety killer.
Yeah.
Kills my anxiety instantly. I've not had none tonight. I'm not very.
See, I have an anxiety condition, so I think my anxiety is like too much for just CBD to be able to control.
Yeah.
That's why I've got to have that THC. But back in the day, I used to be like, I'm an indica guy. I'll smoke OG from the moment I wake up, right? Yeah. And a lot of people, they see that and they're like, how the fuck can you do that? You're going to be sleepy all day. But obviously with my anxiety, it makes me able to live normally. Because I don't know if you know this, I guess we'll get into this later when we talk about like other stuff. But in my primary life, I smoke for a medical condition. I won't get like too deep into it, but essentially I have like a brain condition. And it causes some hormone issues, and then I have loads of adrenaline, basically. Cause
it's like an imbalance then.
Yeah,
so
I think it's I don't even know the ins and outs of it myself, because obviously when everything originally happened, I was like having uncontrollable panic attacks every day. So like I wasn't really listening to the doctors when they would tell me stuff. But from my understanding, it's something to do with cortisol, which is something that gives you adrenaline into your kidneys or some shit. So I have loads of adrenaline all the time. But it also does mean like in the future I could have like a heart condition or something, but like, I don't know.
But cannabis, obviously.
I deal with the moment, not with the future. You know?
That's it. But using cannabis obviously helps you with them imbalances
with the anxiety, because the adrenaline causes me like stupid anxiety. Like before I started smoking weed like properly for the condition, I was on a lot of medication. And I would just, it was either I wasn't on the medication, I'd be like screaming and crying all day for no reason. Or, or I would take the medicine and I would just stare at a fucking blank wall all day. Right? Like, it's,
strong OGs.
Yeah. So strong OGs were the one, right? But recently, because before, if I smoked sativa, it'd make me worse.
Yeah,
It'd get
I
me
was
high.
just about to say,
it would get me high, and I'd be like, oh fuck.
Overthinking and all the paranoia.
So if anything,
set you off.
It's like I'd have worse anxiety than before, and I'd be stoned, so it wouldn't feel nice. But since the new wave of Skittles came about, I've really been enjoying sativa.
Okay.
Because I get that really nice, like, uplifting, motivating high that everyone talks about from sativa, but
not the anxiety.
Side, yeah. Like
paranoid and
the Zawa, not Zawa, but Zawa, from Summer Select.
Okay.
Probably the best sativa I've ever smoked in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
10-10.
I don't even know if it's actually a sativa, but the effects that it gave, like, amazing.
So, going back to that other question that I asked you earlier, which was, obviously, do you chase the terps or the higher?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, the higher is very important.
The higher is very important,
because
yeah.
of the medicinal side.
Exactly. But then at the same time, I smoke so much weed
Yeah.
that it doesn't make any sense for me to get bud that isn't good. Like, it might help me for my, like, you know, anxiety and shit, but if I'm smoking, like, a lot of times in the day, I may as well enjoy it, right?
Yeah, cool.
I may as well have the terps as best as they can
Come
be
on,
at the
mate.
same
Yeah.
time. So it's kind of a bit of
Terps
that's
is a
why I said
bonus.
both. Yeah.
I always say, I smoke weed and I enjoy my weed. It brings my levels of anxiety a lot calmer. I'm an overthinker, mad overthinker. So when I smoke weed, I then get creative mind, which is great. If I'm not doing nothing, if I'm not busy, I'll go into a depressive mode, and then I'm smoking, say, a Star Dog. That'll make me 10 times more depressive.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So there is definitely, for me, certain times when you use certain types of weeds to affect what you're doing or to help
precisely.
you in what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? And that's obviously where the medicinal side comes in for you. Is that's very important to smoke clean.
Yeah.
Anything that's not clean is not good. Do you know what I mean? Because then you're getting side effects, which can obviously hinder what you're using it for. Do you know what I mean? Which is hence why no-till Medigrow for me, you just cannot go wrong. The highs, even though this Maine's Lobster, absolutely beautiful. For me, I'd pick this all day long, every day. It's so hard to come around, and when it comes around, you've just got to grab it.
The thing I don't understand is, right, like that has more flavour in it than fucking sushi.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, if that was about all the time, which is fucking not,
No,
I wouldn't be picking up Cali, innit? I'd be getting that
right.
instead, so...
100%. It's for me. It's this is where it comes down to the growing as well. Obviously, growers who grow no-till and then distribute it, if you like. That's hard work. That's hard work.
Yeah.
For them to grow personally and have enough for themselves and to then distribute a little bit out to people, friends, etc. That's a lot of work that goes into that, and that's a lot of knowledge and a lot of expertise goes into the no-till to get it to how it is now, and it's worth every penny that people spend on it and the time and effort that goes into it, because as the user side, it's so beneficial, so clean, so beneficial, and I'm sure everyone sort of agrees on that one. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so it's an interesting story on the medicinal side, because it's such a grey area at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't at the same time. Like, you know, you've got medical prescriptions. It's just, everything's in its early infant stages. It's kind of, honestly, it's the same way Israel did it. Like, people don't know this, but Israel's had medical cannabis since, like, 2008.
Wow. What, legalised?
Yeah. It's just, it used to be really hard to get it, and then it got less hard, and then it got less hard, and then people had protests eventually, and then they made it basically accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
And we're already, like, we've basically skipped, like, 10 years of that process, and we're already at the point where they're like, right, it's basically accessible to everyone. It's just, now we just need more and more brands to get on it.
Yeah. I mean, I hear so many stories. I hear, obviously, that it was legalised in this country in 2019. We know that.
18.
Oh, was it
actually.
2018?
2018.
Okay, so we know that. But it's still so hard to get hold of. I mean, I don't know the
now
process
it's
you
so
have.
easy.
I don't want to go
It's
into
so
too
easy.
deep. But
No, it's so easy, bro. Like, if you've had one prescription from your GP, you're covered. If you've had a prescription for anxiety, sleep, back pain, even physiotherapy counts as a prescription. So most people are eligible. Some clinics do require 2 previous prescriptions, some only 1. But if you have that, you just give them your NHS number, you sign up, you pay 45 quid, and then the weed's £5 a gram.
£5 a gram.
Yeah.
And what's it like?
There's like 35 strains right now, and like 4 of them are good.
Oh wow.
But it's 4 more than there were fucking 4 years ago.
Yeah,
so,
of course, yeah. But what's the on the medicinal side? I mean, is it no-till level? Is it that sort of level when you?
No. It's like the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the way they do it is, it's like some of them are genuinely grown in like the most clean, sanitary environment you've ever seen in your life, and it'll be like crazy. But they have a requirement from most countries that when you're exporting it, it needs to be gamma irradiated.
Okay.
Which is what they do to food, you know, to keep it on the shelves for a bit longer
Yep.
and stuff. They take out all the microbial content, and then it will last a bit longer and stuff. But that it's mainly for the medical side of things, because you don't want microbial content going to patients. And
No.
at the same time, that's why everyone tells you, okay? The real reason everyone does it is because I think, I'm not saying this is the first instance of it, but this is the Israel example.
Yeah.
When everything like was made legal and all the buds started happening, it was all awful. Like people were growing with some like whack shit, like, you know, and the buds were like, you know, not smoking how they should be. And the government basically said like, look, we can't regulate what the fuck you're doing, so we're just gonna like give you these set of rules, and at the end of it, instead of us checking your bud and testing the bud, you just gamma irradiate it and send us the test result for the gamma irradiation. Because then you can just,
Wow.
instead of us having to actually get your bud and test ourselves and do all that shit, you can just get a gamma irradiation company to certify that you brought in all this bud and how much weight it was, and it's so much easier.
Did you notice the difference with it being radiated? Do you notice?
Yeah, you lose
Yeah.
like 50% of the terms.
Wow.
So if you don't have like a really terpy strain, it's just dead.
That's mad. That's mad. And that just goes. That
Yeah,
just
yeah.
that kills off.
But some of them, when they are mad terpy beforehand, some of them are fucking nice.
Still, yeah.
Like, yeah.
confirmed.
I had this vanilla frosting when I was in Israel. It was fucking crazy.
And everything smokes clean, I'm assuming.
Yeah, everything smokes clean. But yeah, it's just a weird one because people, you know, it's just...
So the Israel, let's touch on the Israel story because I was watching some videos obviously of yours, and I know you went out to Israel. One of your videos, and it's an epic video. From what we see, but what was it like, mate, when you was there?
It was very strange. Can I smoke one of these?
Yeah,
as well?
bro, bill it, man, bill it. That's what they're there
Hey.
for. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, so
amazing.
it was kind of strange in the sense of I was literally in the Middle East smoking weed. Like, that's very surreal. You know, being like seeing all the Arabic writing and shit and
Yeah.
smoking weed, like that's so odd. But the whole reason I went out there was because this company, National Genetics, they were doing a sponsor for the month, and they have like, you know, a bunch of facilities out there. They were like, look, this will do really banging for our sponsors if we get you out there. So
Got to be done.
at the same time, I've wanted to go out there for ages because there's no information in English online.
They've got some great strains and all.
Well, yeah, it's kind of weird out there. Like, I was told that I was super lucky because it was only the last 2 weeks that like the real fire started coming on the menus.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised about because I've been, you know, there's been a cookie store there for like 2 years.
Yeah. Because when you told me, you said I'm going out to Israel, there's a cookie store, and I was like,
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, that's what
Like,
made me
no
want
way.
to go out
And
there for the first
lemonade,
time.
wasn't it? Lemonade.
Yeah, there's a lemonade store in Jerusalem that I didn't get to go to because they were like protests in Jerusalem and
Yeah, you said on the video,
yeah,
bit of trouble.
yeah,
Advised not to go. It's always a good.
yeah. And then something did happen there, so it was a good thing I didn't go.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's and
I don't
everyone.
want to say the word on YouTube of what happened, but it's the same word you can't say in an airport.
Okay.
You know?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's not. Yeah. Wow, yeah. Who's your advisor? I might have to speak to this guy. You know, is he teleported left, right, and centre or something? No, wow, that's serious then. Not
Yeah,
even
it was
yeah.
like I was
Not even just a bit of trouble.
It's one of them ones where apparently that happens all the time. Like, this is one that this is gonna sound so weird. Yes, I think it was the first day I was there. It was maybe like 25 degrees. I had a t-shirt on and I had my just like a Burberry jacket, which is like super thin, so it was like calm for the temperature. But then the mate, he looks at me, he goes, "No, you can't go out with the jacket." I'm like, "What do you mean I can't go out with the jacket?" And he's like, "No. People here don't wear that.
Don't wear Burberrys.
No, jackets.
They just don't wear coats. Right?
Because you could be hiding."
Okay. Of
A
course,
thing that
makes
goes-
sense. Yeah, of course, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't wear that. Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mad.
So don't put a gilet on there.
It's not that crazy. Like, I'm saying this stuff there, but it's not. When you're out there, it's super easy to forget that it's like a country at war, and like, you know, I don't want to downplay like the seriousness of like, you know, the fucking like civil
mate.
war and like, you know, the other wars and all the shit that's there. But I was there for weed.
I
innit?
try not to get politics.
That's what I
try
was
not to
saying.
get
Like
involved, but
to
it's
people out there, a lot of people were like, "Oh no, you've been disrespected by not mentioning stuff," and I'm like, "Bro, I am essentially a weed journalist,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm there
I'm here to talk
to
about
do.
weed,
There's
bro.
other people who can do the stuff you want, and obviously for my personal interest, while I was out there, I learned as much as I could about, you know, all the conflicts and
Yeah.
stuff. But make videos about weed. Obviously, I'm not gonna fucking make a video about that shit. You know, like
Yeah,
it makes
of
no
course.
sense.
No, totally, yeah. I have my opinions on politics, and I'd rather leave it that way
Yeah.
and just keep that to side. But for me, the cannabis, I'm totally interested because that does involve politics, whatever way we look at it.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's a huge side of it. It's something I've been fighting against for ages, years, and it's you know, trying to get people together to highlight, to try and normalise, just to try and normalise. And I'm not saying I'm by any means like some sort of god or something, mate. I'm not trying to say that. But what I mean is the normalisation of weed is so better now to where it was. And I'll go back to the stories earlier of not being able to sort of get soils and things like that, or being so careful to go and buy soil out of the garden centres and things, to now where you can walk out of a grow shop, load your motor up, everything's cool. I'm growing chilies. And that's as simple as that, and there's no one to prove otherwise until they bust the door.
Even when I first went to like a head shop, I remember back in the day you couldn't say the word bong inside the head shop or they would kick you out.
Or you couldn't say
How mad
anything
is
to
that?
do with smoking, like cannabis or
and like
weed
all the bongs would have a sticker on it that would say for tobacco.
for tobacco.
Yeah.
It's,
What?
and then
I swear the law on that never changed.
No, it just kept the same, didn't it? It just
So
there were
what
so
happened?
many head shops. Head shops just
Were
popped up
they just
everywhere,
scared?
didn't they? Yeah.
I think it was legally they were fine anyway.
Yeah.
But they were just scared because I swear nothing changed.
No, and it's crazy how you can sell all the paraphernalia, sell all the equipment, sell everything, but yet it's illegal.
And you can sell seeds.
Sell seeds.
You can
They're
sell
illegal.
seeds. You're just not allowed to
You
germinate.
put it
them.
in a pot. Yeah, that's it. I'm a criminal.
Yeah.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy. But that's again the politics of it, and that's where we get dragged in because we are still in an illegal country, whatever way we look at it.
Well, I'll tell you this. This will be the first place that I'll probably say this like publicly, because we spoke about this here. But obviously, I told you about the idea of after 420 this year, organising like an after event after 5:30 when
Definitely.
it technically closes or whatever.
Yeah.
Get everyone to go down Downing Street and just smoke bare joints.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like the media does not cover 420. It doesn't cover Hyde Park.
No,
It doesn't really
they
put
cover the
into
violence
perspective.
quite well after
Yeah,
when
yeah,
a
but
load
it
of little
doesn't-
kids turn up and start rucking about postcode
And they
wars
always
or whatever.
lowball the numbers. Like I swear, last time there must have been at least like 90, 100,000 people, like 100%. And all the media places are like, there was 10,000 people.
Yeah,
And it's like, bruv, you've seen a crowd of 10,000 people versus the crowd that you literally couldn't see the end of. You know, like.
Wouldn't it be great to do a 420, obviously at Hyde Park, and then walk down and get the 710, maybe at Downing Street?
Yeah, that would be really saying. But
So,
it's more just, bro, even if there were at least like 1,000 people to come to Downing Street and to all smoke outside, that would get the best press.
I
Like,
think
that
it's
would be so
definitely
good.
something that we can sort.
Like,
I
the
definitely-
photos would be
definitely.
crazy.
It will be.
Holy
it will be.
fuck.
Keep in touch with Drew on his channels anyway, and I'm sure he'll keep you posted on future events.
Oh,
for that.
yeah.
We're obviously releasing this in January, so it'll be for the year ahead. So it'll be a great time to get all that together. And Hyde Park's a great place, isn't it? Great place on 420.
Oh, yeah.
Busy as hell. I know my partner as well, Low Kizzy, he's a rapper. He went up there last year for the Hyde Park. I was on my way with RSOSOS.
Oh, yeah.
He come to here and his van broke down.
Oh, fine.
So he ended up getting towed from here back home. He just couldn't go up to London, enjoy himself, knowing that he had to come back and get towed home.
Yeah,
So he was just like, look, scrap it, we're going home. And I ended up standing here and just getting higher. But I missed the Hyde Park this year, but next year I'm definitely on Hyde Park, mate. And
Yeah,
like I say,
fuck, no, you missed a crazy one. Because this year that happened was the first, well, we're saying this year because obviously this is still 2022. When people watch this,
of course.
2023. But when we went to this one, it was the first official one ever again, you know, because the last year one before that it still was technically cancelled because of COVID, but a lot of people turned up. But like,
And is it true that the police were searching people on the way in, way out?
no, they never
Nothing
do.
like that?
No. They do sometimes give people shit. Like I got shit. I think it was this 420. I think it was the 420 before. But whenever it happened, but either way, I got some shit when I had that big joint.
Yeah.
I had like the like half-ounce joint or whatever. They try and give me some shit for it outside.
How do you find the police when they obviously stop you or anything like that with the prescription side? Are they pretty cool with it?
I would say 90% of the time the police know what a prescription is. They go, "Can I see it?" They look at it. They go, "Can I see your ID?" I go, "Here's my ID," and they go, perfect, mate. Have a good one, and that's it. Then there's the 10% that are absolute cunts and will go through everything to try and say that it's not real.
Yeah, and then you've got an argument to try and
I had a time where they took me down cells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been arrested for it.
Yeah.
Blimey.
But like it was all calm afterwards because they realised that it was all legitimate. Like, bro, I went down to the station. The guy's like looking at my charges, and they're asking you all like the standard shit, like, you know, like, are you like, are you depressed? Like, you know, do you want to off yourself and all that stuff that they ask in a thing. And then it's like, are you on any prescription medication? I'm like, yes. And they're like, oh, what prescription medication is it? And I'm like, I'm prescribed medical cannabis privately. And then he looks at me, looks at the charges, looks at the evidence bag, and he goes, is that what's in here? And I'm like, yes. And then he looks inside it and he sees a prescription. And like he does like an eye roll and he's like, oh. Okay, he's going through everything. And then I was put in cells for like 8 hours.
Fuck.
And then they interviewed me afterwards. And then they gave me more weed back.
They did, yeah?
Bro, they let me vape in the police cell.
Did they, yeah?
Yeah.
Because they can't refuse
bro,
you
after
medication.
this, after this, they were like, he was like, oh, you know, what time do you have to take your medication? And I was like, bro, I seen the clock behind him. I was like 6:30 because it was fucking. No, it's 5:30 then. So I was like, if I say 6:30, then in like an hour it'll be calm. And bro, straight up, I'm in the cell. The guy comes through, like fucking taps on the thing, opens it up. Bro, I'm just stood there with the door open, and he's just got the evidence bag. And I'm like, my little vape's in there, my little handheld vape, and I'm just putting my weed in there, vaping next to this police officer. He's asking me bare questions about medical buds.
That is crazy.
But obviously, it was a different
So
police
they've
officer to the one that arrested
you
me,
for that,
innit?
then they're bringing it to you, but yeah.
Yeah, it was so dumb. It was
so
dumb.
contradictory.
Yeah.
So I found it. I went to court with someone at the can card.
Oh yeah.
Went to court with him just like as a witness sort of thing. Not as a witness, but as a give him a bit of moral support really. And the judge, he turned around to the judge. He said, "Yeah, he got pulled over."
Mm-hmm.
He refused the test, which wasn't the greatest thing to do. You've always got to supply the test because then it proves that you are medicinal.
Yeah.
So he refused the test for a needle phobia, etc. And the judge just outruled it. And he said, "But I've got a can card," and he just went. Like, looked at him as if to say, "Yeah, well, I don't understand that." So if you said that to a policeman might recognise the can card, etc.
A lot of them do. Like I've had times where I've shown them my prescription and then they've gone, "Oh, do you have your can card?"
Yeah, it was that
like,
the police.
And I'm there like, I'm there like, bro, the whole point of a can card is to show that you're eligible for a prescription, but you don't have one. But I'm here with the prescription, the thing that is supposed to give your defence about, right? And you're asking me if I have that, but like, you know, police they don't know the law.
I think it's recognised in the police system, but it's definitely not recognised within the justice system.
Yeah, of course. But in the justice system, it would prove your medical intent if it was like obviously you wouldn't just be able to stand in court and say, "But I have can card." You know, you'd have to be with a lawyer and you'd have to say like, right. So the whole point, you'd have to explain what the can card is to the judge who wouldn't know, and show like you know, to be able to get a can card, you have to be eligible for a prescription. It just shows you don't have the money to get an actual prescription. And then you would be able to use it in court as a defence, right?
I mean,
I'm not saying it would work. I'm not legal
of course,
advice.
I'm not saying it would.
I'm just saying it could potentially be a defence that you could use with a lawyer. You know, that you could work on.
Obviously, if you are a medicinal patient, you've got nothing to hide.
Exactly.
So you shouldn't really be going to court. You shouldn't be getting to that stage anyway. Really.
And if it does, then you're just honest. Like that's the thing. But at the same time, a lot of people don't have the money to lawyer up. And if you don't have a lawyer up, and you don't just follow the right protocol, you can get in there with all of your evidence to prove you're right and all that, and they just go, "Oh, we can't accept any of this because you haven't done it in the right way."
Yeah, of course, it's mad.
Right?
Madness. I mean, the law side of it is obviously very political as well.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go mad deep into that, but it's such a massive grey area at the minute, and things do need to change. I think they are slowly changing. I think they're not just going to flick a switch and go, it's legal.
No.
I think we've got to set the standards. We've got to show the right things and the reasons why. And medicinal. For me, there's no such thing as medicinal cannabis and cannabis, or there's cannabis.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's then how it's grown.
And it depends who's using it as well.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
And then to what strains suit you, etc., etc. So we've all got different levels of the endocannabinoid system. which is something I wanted to touch on with you as well. Obviously, aware of the endocannabinoid system and stuff. It would be amazing to get, do you know, like you was talking about earlier, the imbalance in sort of levels of whatever to go in wherever. It'd be great if we could test that within our endocannabinoid system to see what strains match with our bodies, and do you know what I mean?
I mean, I reckon you probably can. It's just like it probably costs so much money to do tests like that. Like, you know, you'd have to have somebody with real money, like
definitely.
Yeah.
And if there is anyone out there doing that, let us know, because we'd love to come.
If there's any billionaire that wants to test our brains for the reaction to different strains and the and all that, like, let us know. Let us know. We're always down.
I'm involved, mate. Definitely, 100%. But what are you saying on the no-till, mate?
This fire.
It absolutely stinks.
Every time.
Pure. Yeah, look at the oil ring on it, and that's looking absolute amazing. But yeah, so I'm gonna roll one in a minute, mate. I'll get on that definitely without a shadow. It's great stuff. Let's flick that back quick. What's the worst or best thing that's ever happened to you regarding cannabis, would you say?
Ooh, I mean, I would say the best thing is me starting my YouTube channel, for sure. I mean, I didn't start a YouTube channel from weed, but like me transforming my YouTube channel from what it was to what it is today. Because I mean, it's like I get a good thing out of a bad situation. Because the main reason I started doing the whole videos on weed was because of the medical condition, and I was like, well, if this is like going to be a big part of my life, researching it, I may as well put that out into the world.
Did you have like any inspiration or anything like that before you started your YouTube channel with the weed side of things?
Yes and no. I had inspiration in the sense of like, okay, these people showed me that it's possible to make content about weed. I just didn't want to make the same content as them. So it was like Strain Central, Custom Grow 420, Silenced Hippie, and Two High Guys. If anyone remembers Two High Guys, you are a fucking legend. But those were like the OGs, and like those guys all kind of got me into it as well. Like, I spoke to them a couple of times, and it was, you know, I slowly started making more and more. But for me, I've always loved watching informational videos on YouTube.
Knowledge. That was me.
Like, you'd be surprised if you see my YouTube recommendations, you'd think it'd just all be like weed and vice stuff and like all this shit. But now, if you go on my YouTube and you see my homepage, it's gonna be like old Vsauce videos that I've already watched like 5 times. It'll be a channel called Astrum with like science. It's like about space and shit.
Cool.
And then just like any informational stuff. Like even all the commentary people I watch these days, they're more the like documentary style, like deep dive into a topic. And I kind of was like, oh, well, I can do that, but with weed. Yeah.
I like it.
So that's what started it. Yeah.
Oh, superb, mate. What's and how long you been doing it now? YouTube
11 years.
Yeah.
The weed stuff I started doing. I made my first weed video in 2015, but actually got taken down. Because I was 17 when I uploaded it. Yeah. Not the smartest idea. Not the smartest.
But you had to start somewhere, mate.
Yeah.
Learning curve soon come in play.
But then, so it was around then. And I didn't really know what I was doing. I made other drug videos first, because when I was younger, we haven't really spoken about this actually. I used to do a lot of drugs when I was like a teenager. Okay. It was because I had like a bit of a fucked family life, and just a lot of stuff at home was not the best. Like not anything like crazy serious
not
stuff,
the smoothest,
but like just not like just a lot of weird shit. I mean, just to put it into perspective, my dad right now currently is 82 years old.
Oh shit.
And I'm 25, right? My mum right now is 56.
Okay, cool. Dad did well.
Okay, so you can imagine.
Or did Mum do well?
Well, I would take props to my dad. I would take props to my dad. Come on. But at the same time, it's like, like my dad, like he went to like an all boys boarding school until he was like fucking 18. And,
well, it was a totally different world, mate.
Different world. So like growing up in that family. And starting off a dad in the family.
So my dad, just to let you know, my dad's 78.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he's not far off. It's 4 years, but I'm 40.
Yeah. Precisely.
I've got 3 brothers who are 52.
And at the same time, okay, this is as far as I'll get into the whole family situation, but obviously you know the ages, and my parents have been split up since I was 14, and they still live in the same house.
Oh man, okay.
Right now.
Wow.
Yeah, so being a kid growing up with that as the
Separate,
situation
still,
was not
the best.
Yeah. So I did a lot
Very
of drugs.
hostile environment.
Yeah, so I ended up doing bare drugs, and I forgot where I was going to go with the bare drug stuff.
Just how many drugs you did, and then obviously I think you was going to go with...
Oh yeah, so basically when I did all
and-
those drugs, I didn't smoke weed. Like if anything, like for me, weed was a waste of money because obviously it didn't do anything. I did all these drugs and I'd smoke a joint, it'd do nothing.
Fuck's that?
Yeah, it literally do nothing. So that's where this came from. Back in those drug days, obviously I stopped doing all of them when I was like 15 or something, so that's like 10 years ago. But I had a lot of stories, and I had a lot of bad times.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of my life on drug forums, and I figured, why don't I make a trip report, but I do it in video form? And I'd seen a couple videos of that. I made one about acid, and I think right now it's on like 1.6 million views or something, like 1.5 or
and what's that, the effects of when you take it?
So it's just me like explaining the whole trip from beginning to end, and I put like some video effects on it as well. So like, you know, yeah. But I think at the time, obviously that's gotten to that over a long period of time.
Yeah.
But at the time, I think after like 2 months, it had like 100,000 views, and at the time, that's mad. Nowadays, if I upload a good video, I'll probably do that in like.
Couple of hours.
No, not a couple hours. Probably do it in a couple of days. But like that'd be if it's a good video, you know. But back then, that was like first time I'd ever done that.
What's your best ever video?
Oh,
Would you say? I mean, obviously viewings are viewings. Do you know what I mean? But
my best ever video. I really don't know.
no.
I actually really don't know.
When your most was what? 4 million views? Did you say earlier?
Nah, weirdly enough, my most viewed video is at still 1.6 million views. Is the THC tester in London video. But my most viewed video on any platform is like 7.7 million on TikTok, which is dumb. And it's not even about weed.
Yeah,
it's
mad.
skating.
I had when you was doing the video, I think you've done a boost post on Instagram or whatever.
Oh yeah, I tried it out because my Facebook ad account got banned like 4 or 5 years ago, and they randomly gave it back to me. So I just tested it out and I boosted a post.
Do it.
I didn't think anyone saw it.
And I had I play golf, a lot of golf, and I got obviously a group of pals that we go out and play golf with, and he put in a group chat. He said, "Have you seen this madman going around London testing people's weed?" And I was like, "That's one of my pals, Drew." I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's decent. At least it gives you sort of recognition to what you're smoking." Do you know what I mean? But I bet you've had some huge shock surprises and doing all that.
Oh yeah.
Good fun.
Yeah.
Good fun. Seen the state of some people's weeds, and then obviously fire. Where would you say is the best in the UK?
I get asked this question a lot, okay, and I always say the same thing, which is my answer to that would not matter, because you don't know the same people I know. Like I could say, Birmingham has the best flower, right? Which I'm not saying that that's the case at all, but I could say that, right? And then somebody could go to Birmingham and they go to some random 10-bag mate on the side of the street. They go, "Yo, can I get a 10?" So they get some.
He's got
they get some. They get some like dead wet dog or something, you know, or like some fucking haze, you know. And it's like, so I always find that redundant.
What about the videos? Because I know you was sort of giving
on
it
the
an
videos
average
specifically.
Score, wasn't you?
Yeah, I think the videos specifically, the best place we went to was Bristol. I think they came out on top right now, or maybe somewhere just beat Bristol or something. Oh, bro, it's hard to remember.
Yeah. A lot of places, mate. Done a lot of videos. It's it's epic though. I was watching through some earlier, and it's great, mate. Some of the reactions when they get their results through. And if anyone's not seen it again, head over to Drew's YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, all that. Turn on notifications.
All the good stuff.
And I'm sure you will 100% pick up some great knowledge of what's there. How has the channel been welcomed by the UK cannabis community?
Oh, okay. So, welcomed is odd, all right? Because anyone who's ever met me in person knows that I'm like a nice guy, right? I would hope. And I'm not saying that to like toot my own horn, or to toot my own horn, right? Or to be egotistical. None of that, right? I'm just saying I try in my day-to-day life to be a nice person. Obviously, everyone's going to make mistakes here and there, right? But my priority is generally to make people smile and
not got
have
bad
a good time,
intentions,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Not got any bad intentions.
I think when I first joined like the weed community, and obviously I was like a new face on the scene, and I already had like into the 50,000-60,000 subscribers when I started making all the videos and all that. A lot of people just saw me as some green-haired 18-year-old YouTuber who doesn't know anything about weed.
What does he know?
And it's like, why does he have subscribers? I know way more about weed than he does, and I don't have subscribers. And it's like, cool, that's not how it works, right? And at the same time, I never claim to know everything about weed. Far from it. If you watch my videos, you'd know I ask questions.
Yeah.
In every video, I ask the audience, like, yo, I don't know this. I'll be like, I don't know this. Does anyone have the answer for it, right? I love learning every day. That's what I've done with the channel, right? That's kind of the point. But
that's what I was going to say, is that the grass is always green where you water it.
Exactly.
So if you put your effort into doing these YouTube channels and doing the videos, going out there across the country to get the video footage, to do all that stuff, you're going to flourish. That man who's sitting there going, why does he know? He's probably smoked weed for 30 years, 40 years. He does know a lot about weed. He's got great, absolute, fantastic knowledge of it. But he put his effort into motor mechanics.
Yeah, of course.
So he knows about engines, whereas you don't.
Yeah.
It's things like that. And to me, that just shows a person's jealousy or envious.
No, but I can understand it as well. I can totally
understand
understand it as well. Because like, even in the sense of like, I've had times where I've seen YouTubers and I've been like, I think this person looks like a cunt.
Yeah.
And then I don't watch their videos for ages, and maybe sometimes I do end up watching their content, and I'm like, oh, now the content isn't actually that good. But sometimes I might eventually watch it, and I might be like, oh shit, this content was actually banging, and I just wrote them off because I thought in my brain something happened, and I thought that they looked like a dickhead, right? I totally get that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, with the community, I think, like, when I first got into the weed community, everyone I met, like, luckily I met some influential people, like, right at the beginning. Like, I met Greg from UKCSC, met I Smoke at, like, one of the first weed events I ever went to.
Great guy.
But, bro, back in the day, like, I used to have, like, £200 in my bank account. I would go to one of the weed events on the weekend. Like, and I'm talking, like, that £200 in my bank account was the only money I had. Like, nothing else. Like,
yeah, mate. Been there myself, mate. I understand totally.
Bro, I would go to these weed events. I'd spend like £180 at the event, and I'd leave myself like 20 quid to grab food with, and then I would make as much content as I possibly could to try and make the money back through like either live streaming or making videos. And sometimes it would just about break even, make a bit more, but like it would always be able to make it so I could get more and then also get food.
To the next one.
Essentially, like it would just about cover the food and then also get more. But I was spending like 90% of my money on making the videos.
It's crazy.
Like, and obviously I say that, but like I'm spending 90% of my money on fucking smoking weed at that point. But at the same time, how the fuck do you make? At the time, obviously it's totally different now. You don't really need to smoke weed to make YouTube videos about it. But back then, that was the meta.
That was
like that was how it went.
I still think it is a little bit. I think people want to see the weeds. I think people want to. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's whether they value your opinion or not. And
I'm more talking about like, you know how. Bro,
I
thought it was going to break. I thought it was going to go.
Oh, don't.
I think it's more like, you know how I said about the informational stuff?
Yeah.
That's what I've more lent into in the last like 3 years. But before then, I did want to do the informational stuff, and I slowly was doing that. But to be able to get views on the informational stuff, I had to do consumption videos. I had to play that game, because otherwise, why would any of my viewers who, haven't been watching for a long time, or like used to watch when I used to make other videos, why would they care about a weed informational video if they haven't seen me smoke some weed before?
100%.
So it was kind of had to play that game to be able to get the views, for it to be able to go into recommended and all that shit. But I totally forgot where this came from. I've done it like twice now.
How the UK cannabis community welcomed you? Or welcome the channel?
Yeah. So but this is the thing. So back then, obviously, I used to do all that, and like I would say, it was a 50-50. Like some people I met in the community, they liked the channel, and they thought it was really cool. They would like what he was doing, and then the other like straight 50% would be like, this guy's fucking muppet with green hair who's an idiot. Like, yeah.
I've heard it so many times. I mean, I've heard people say, like, you'll come up in a conversation at an event or something like that. Oh, it's Drew over there, because people do get gassed.
Yeah.
They get gassed about you.
They do now, but back then, like nobody did.
Back then, it was you was getting called out to fight people.
Nah.
I mean, a couple of people.
Some people have tried to do that, but like, bro, why would I? Bro, I've got a brain condition.
Yeah.
Why
are you going to get in a boxing ring and fight someone, even for charity? Do you know what I mean?
I can't get hit in the head.
It's not about the charity.
Like,
do you not get this? It's not about the charity.
Like, I don't know if anyone sees my skate clips yet, but if I'm skating a stair set and I'm like falling over, bro, first thing I do, I don't even care if it's going to hurt my arms. I don't care nothing. I'm like,
protect your head.
Yeah. I should probably wear a helmet, to be honest, but like,
image.
Right.
Maybe you need to get some Gucci and make a cap. One of your
Nah,
caps
fuck
or
a helmet, man. It throws your balance off. It's not even on that. Like, if
Yeah.
it wasn't for the fact that I started skating without a helmet and like I'm used to skating.
Skating's
without one,
been an
I probably
absolute
would.
big part of your life, yeah? How did you get into skating, etc.?
So I used to
that's
do,
quite big with the cannabis community as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, kinda. I mean, it is more so now than it was back in the day, but and it is more. The cannabis community is in skating, but skating isn't in the cannabis community. If that makes sense.
Got ya.
Yeah.
Totally.
But bro, I used to do free running. I used to do parkour, like flips and all that. I've got. If you want to see some really old videos of mine, I've got some free running videos, like show reels of the year and shit. Yeah. No, I'll show you a clip just because you've never. Have you seen anything?
No, I've not seen
I'll
no
show you-
free running or anything. I've seen obviously you skating and with Jamie.
I'll just show you the one that I posted on TikTok the other day.
Come on, bro.
Go on
Backflip
the
and that,
tricks
yeah?
and that. But I used to have like proper clips like of me doing everything, innit?
Yeah,
But like,
mate.
I broke my feet like 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
And all my mates fell out of love with free running, and it was kind of sad for me because I really, really loved it. And I still do train a tiny bit, but not really.
And that's like urban. Very
yeah.
urban, and it's street sort of jumping across buildings and staircases.
Well, but that was the
etc.
thing. So that's what it evolved into. But we all started being kids, like being like gym rats, basically. Like you paid like 10 quid, and you go into a gymnasium, and you can just do
Run
flips.
about,
Like
yeah.
you can just do whatever. Well, obviously, so everything's self-taught, and bro, we would set up like this crazy shit as if it was outside. And we used to do it all outside eventually. But then after I broke my feet like 3 times, it was so demotivating because I couldn't take a drop more than that in this big.
Fucking hell.
Because my heels would just be fucked. So all my mates who had fell out of love with free running, they all started skating. And I was like, oh, well, when I was like a kid, I learned how to ollie. So at least I've gone past that first step. And I was like, well, I'll learn how to ollie stair sets. Start with a curb, go to a 2-stair, go to a 3-stair, build up the impact in my feet. And then I'll be able to free run again because I'll be able to take the impact. That was the goal.
Okay.
And bro, I started learning tricks so fast. Like, as soon as I learned, I think it took me like a year to learn a kickflip, right? But then after that, I think within 6 months, I had like frontside flip, backside flip, hard flips, heel flips, and like a couple other things, tray flips and barrel flips. Like,
Because I see you the other day, I think it was at South Bank. I might be wrong. But I see you jump off a
do the
big
triple
old,
flip.
like,
Yeah.
Stairs and that.
So like, it's more after I think I've been skating for like 5 years now, like 2 years ago when I moved here, I really wanted to skate street with more people because I'd started doing stuff downstairs sets, and I put a post on Instagram saying, "Yo, does anyone who watch me skate and live in London? I need people to skate with." And somebody hit me back. Well, I say somebody hit me. I got like 300 responses, but every person I've gone to, bro, they couldn't even do like a kickflip.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, I need somebody to
Need
be
to
able to,
learn that.
I need somebody to come out with me and sesh a spot, And Hop King messaged me, Hop Kingdom, and they said, yo, we have this indoor skate park and it's a bar. Do you want to come by? And it was in the middle of lockdown, so they were like, obviously we're not open right now, but if you just want to come by, so it's just us and the manager, so it's all like, fine with COVID, it's all closed, it's private and all that.
Sweet.
Do you want to come by and skate inside? I was like, fuck yeah. Turns out this guy, Jamie Griffin, who's now one of my fucking best mates, he's like one of the best skaters in the UK. Won battle at the Barracks. He's got the craziest double flips, and I love double flips.
Is he pro, yeah?
Oh, yeah, he's pro for Hop King as well.
Cool.
So he, weirdly enough, skates for Hop King, right? And I didn't know that. And I'd seen a couple of his clips, and it all came together. But one day I skated with him, and I went home, and then he came up on my Instagram. I was like, oh,
That's the fella.
okay. And our styles go together quite well. Not in the sense of like Jamie's way better than me, right? But he loves a weird double flip. I love a weird double flip,
Yeah,
and
we've got the same
there
sort
aren't
of-
many people who like that.
Yeah, got ya.
Yeah.
Which you obviously, you hurt yourself, right? Doing a lot of skating.
Skating, I have broken my ankle once,
Yeah.
which did fuck me up for a while. Yeah.
I can imagine. Cannabis obviously helped that situation a lot.
To a point, my ankle like exploded. I'm so lucky I didn't need surgery.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like
Broken
that?
like 4 places.
Oh, wow. What was you attempting a flip?
Bro, it's so dumb. I turned up to the skate park. I was actually having a really good session. I turn up. First thing I did was ollie the set, which at the time, this was like 2.5 years ago, so I didn't ollie a lot of big sets then, but it was like straight away, ollie the set. Then I did kickflip first try, and I hadn't 180 a set that big before, so I did 180 in like 2-3 tries or something. Did heel flip, had a game of skate with somebody, and I beat them in 5 letters. I was like, holy shit, I am actually on smoke today. Like, holy fuck. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do some hover stuff. I never do some hover stuff. So I just do a 50-50 down it, and it was a bit sloppy, so I was like, no, I'll redo it. Second time I did it, I get all the way down this hover and this fucking grind, and my trucks just get stuck. I try hopping off, and the ledge is so close to the ground at the bottom of the stair set that I had enough time to kick the board out, but not enough time to straighten my foot back out like that. So I've kicked the board out, and then I've just landed sideways, and it's gone bam, like super exploded. Yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah, I can imagine, mate. And where was that, at a skate park,
Yeah. Luckily, it was right next to the hospital.
As luck would have it.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
The irony of it.
Yeah, it was fucking weird when it happened, man. Like, I've broken a couple bones, but nothing where you can't stand up and walk, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, when it happened, I tried standing up. When it happened, I instantly knew it was broken. And I yelled to somebody, I'm like, I've broken my fucking ankle, And they're like, nah. And I try standing up, and I'm like, it's fucking broken. Like, bro. 2 of these guys who are there, they're like first aid trained. They like pick me up, take me to the grass. Like, bro, the ambulance comes, they give me the nos and that. Oh,
Right.
that was wild.
How'd it go?
But I turn up and I'm lying on the ground, and the ambulance comes, and I'm smoking a zoot, innit? And they go, how much of that joint do you have left? And I was like, it was probably about here. And I was like, not much. 1 sec.
Quick, as much as you could in. But
Yeah, they're really sound.
yeah, cool. Nice. Yeah, skating's. I'm not sort of familiar with the world of skating really, but I do know a few skaters, and they're crazy guys, mate. Crazy guys.
Yeah.
Things that they try and attempt is just madness. But broken bones, etc. I'm a builder by trade, so I'm used to sort of hurting myself, but anything with broken bones, you know what I mean? Big risk for me, mate.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Big risk for me. But no, going back to the channel, obviously, and how it was welcomed, it's obviously a lot better.
Yeah.
Welcome now.
Yeah. Nowadays, like, most people know, like, who have at least seen some of the content, you know, like, back then people would just write me off by looking at me.
Yeah.
Nowadays, people have sort of seen something, they know that I'm a chill guy, they know I'm not just some idiot, you know.
And that's the beauty of what you do, I think, because if people do have that judgment, he's a dickhead, he's this, he's whatever, what does he know about weed, etc., go and take a look. That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
Do you
And
know
I
what
always
mean?
say as well, if there's anything you ever see in a video where you're like, nah, this is wrong, comment on it. Tell me that it's wrong.
Let me
I
know.
learn every day from everything. Like, how the fuck would I have managed to get to the point where I'm at now and know the stuff I already know without people correcting me when I say, oh, is this the case, you know?
Beauty of the internet, etc., is sharing information. Something I wasn't able to do years ago. So to be able to and to get the correct knowledge, that's what you want.
I think
You
a lot
want
of
the
people
correct
just don't understand that correcting somebody or even like giving advice, it doesn't have to be done in a negative or snarky way. Like, you can give somebody criticism or give somebody some advice or give somebody some knowledge or tell someone they're wrong without telling them that they're a fucking idiot or like telling them that they're a dickhead, you know?
Exactly. Which leads me on to the what was your worst experience with cannabis? We obviously went through the experience of the best bit. What's your worst experience?
Well, like in the sense of like me smoking it or just in general?
Yeah, I mean in general, what would you say is
The downside of smoking
the
cannabis.
downside? Obviously getting arrested and stuff like that, which you touched on earlier. That's sort of part and parcel in
Been
an
arrested
illegal world.
many times.
Yeah,
just not in
that's it.
England, really. Like England, it was only that one. And I didn't even really get arrested. Like they arrested me, but didn't do anything, you know.
Yeah.
But
You've been arrested abroad then?
yeah,
for cannabis as well, yeah?
a fair few times in a few places. Yeah, that's the story for another day.
It happens. It's I bet you're glad though.
But
with
I think
the,
that wouldn't even be like the worst, because I don't mind that shit. Like, that comes with the territory. You know, when you get into it, that shit like that can happen, right? I think like the only there's a couple things that I would say are like the worst, but I don't even notice them anymore. Like the one thing is like obviously the only downside of smoking bud is the smell.
yeah.
Like I love the smell of bud, but I was even sat in like the post office the other day grabbing a parcel, and somebody comes in from out the back and they go, "You guys in here don't mind the smell of weed, right?" And I was like, we were like, no. And they're like, "Oh, okay, because if it was a problem for you guys, we'd, you know, make sure it was all sprayed out and everything, but it's a bit long. But if you guys are okay with it, it's okay, yeah." And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, damn, people really still be like that, you know?
100%. That stigma is changing. It is changing slowly, and people are sort of becoming a bit more accepted to it. But there's still times and positions I'll be in, and you know, I'll smoke a joint thinking that I'm alright, and then someone will walk past. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So that stigma is still there, and it's a lot more of the older generation. As mum and dad with it. With you smoking and stuff, and being on the YouTube, and they're cool.
Yeah. I mean, they've always both been in like the media industry, so they understand. Like, I think when I first started doing it, it was a bit like, you know, well, to be honest, when I first started doing it, I didn't speak to them.
Sounds easy.
I moved out when I was 16. So, and that was 2 years before I started making weed videos. So when I started making weed videos, like originally, I wasn't at home. So I just started doing it.
Yeah, mate. Getting off.
Yeah. And if anything, my parents, like, if I was like put in a room and somebody had like a gun to my head and they were like, you have to phone somebody right now that verifies 100% that you are a medical cannabis user, yeah, and you're not just chatting shit, yeah, I'd call my parents. Yeah. Because they're the people who have seen me at my worst. Like, you know the times when I was screaming against the wall and fucking, you know, then the times when I was on the medication, I'm just staring at the wall, right? Yeah, like, fucking hell, I've had so many times with my dad where we've just been, like, trying to go somewhere and, like, I'm suddenly, like, having some mad panic attack in the car. I've got to get out and, like, lie on the grass and shit and fucking, you know, it's crazy. And then I went out to LA in 2015. I was out there for, like, a year, and I was smoking bud for it beforehand, but sometimes it made me worse, sometimes it made me better. I didn't understand why. Obviously, we went through that. Yeah. But when I was in Cali, that really, you know, I actually spoke to some doctors out there. Like, I spoke to other people. I was 17 at the time when I first moved out there, so I had to get other people to speak for me all the time. But, you know, I was learning a lot. And, yeah, it was just... Fuck, I completely lost my train of thought again.
Went to LA 2015.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, with the parents. So, when I came back from LA, right, like, after all that, and I tried all this medical cannabis, and I'd suddenly, like, learned all this stuff, I was, like, normal me again, you know? And, like, I came back from LA, and I'm seeing my parents, and obviously I'm telling them that I've started making some of these weed videos, and, like, all of this stuff, and, yeah, they didn't really say anything too much against it, other than, like, we just don't want to be, like, associated with anything, like, you know. Yeah. But which makes sense at the time, of course.
Yeah, of course. Careers, etc.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense. But yeah, it was more. I think they had seen how much medical cannabis had really made me better. Yeah. And when I was telling them, like, look, I want to make these videos about drugs, so people who were in my same position when they're like 15, 16, they're trying all these drugs, they don't make the same mistakes I did.
Aware of it, and then aware of what's to come.
That came first, and then obviously when my parents then saw, like, you know, the medical weed videos, and then also just like weed videos in general, I think they were just very open to it in the sense of, like, if you're that person who's seen firsthand, like, holy shit, like, cause I can't imagine what it would have been like for my mum. Like, imagine being my mum and, like, seeing your child have a head injury, and then afterwards they're just not the same, and, like, can't go through a normal day with, like, being a normal person, right? And then suddenly they start getting a bit better when they moved out, and you don't really speak to them because of all the issues, and then you go out to LA, and then they come back from LA and they're fine. You know, like, literally was like a normal person.
It's mad, isn't it?
It was fine.
It's mad, mate. But that's... would you say that's due to cannabis, or would you say that was due to yourself?
No, 100% cannabis. Because, like, even to this day, like, if I can not smoke weed for all day, like, it doesn't faze me. Like, that's why I smoke pure, and, like, obviously I couldn't not smoke cigarettes all day.
Of course.
Talking about that, probably going to smoke a cigarette.
Yeah. I don't smoke cigarettes myself, but I do have tobacco in my joints.
One day it will stop.
It will do. I said to you earlier before we started, and we was talking about it, and I said, you know, it just makes me cough and stuff like that, and you proved the point. It's when I smoke yours, I don't cough.
Yeah.
So it's definitely within the role of obviously what's being...
The role of making sure you have the best of the best bud. That's the thing.
That's the key.
You just write off a lot of joints. You get used to it, but you will write off a lot of joints. Like, there'll be a lot of times where you smoke a doobie, you have like 4 hits, and you go, that's dead.
Yeah. I see, I think it was one of your videos you was in Amsterdam. I think you stand on a boat. Or you sleeping on a boat, sort of apartment or something. I might be wrong, but I remember you just looking, smoke this joint, lit it up, and you went... that's dead. Not even smoking that. And I was just like...
I have that in a lot of videos, to be fair. If you watched any of the Spain series, holy fuck. I had so many. But, bro, there was a joint graveyard with, like, 25 joints in it. So fun.
Do you not find that, obviously you've been to Spain many plenty of times in Barcelona, etc. I've been to Barcelona. I met you out there once, didn't I?
Yeah,
Cannabis. But it was, I find a lot of it very clean, but not necessarily the best.
Depends where you go. Depends where you go. Like, I find the bud quality in the last year's gone downhill a bit, and at the same time, like, I don't know. Am I a dickhead for saying that I don't like Barcelona as a place?
I'm not a massive fan, mate.
I think, bro, I'm gonna be hella harsh, yeah. In my personal opinion, yeah. Barcelona's a bit of a shit hole.
Yeah.
It used to be banging. It used to be banging before COVID,
Yeah.
and then after COVID, the crime rate went mad high,
Yeah.
and that to me overshadows.
When
everything.
I went to Cannabis, I booked an apartment, Airbnb. I booked it for 4 nights out there. This year just gone. Went out there, booked the apartment. Gets there at the address. There's a homeless guy outside the door, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. Give him a couple of quid, you know. He's like, thank you very much. I said, make sure you eat. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. The next day, I thought, right, I'm going to go and buy him a baguette.
Yeah.
So I went across the road. They'd done a cheese and ham baguette, tomato, etc. I said, this for the homeless guy. He said, okay, no worries, bang. Paid it, walked over to him, give it to him. He went, no, go away. And just hid back under his thing again. Didn't want the baguette, he wanted the money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And I'm just like, it's different
Well,
gravy.
I mean, I understand
for
that,
me,
though.
that's
I
why
do
you're
understand
homeless.
it.
Do you know what I mean?
No, but not necessarily. I understand it in the sense of like, what if the guy's really had a meal?
Yeah, I suppose. But I'm
What if he
just
wants
like,
to? What if he wants the money because
it's
he
a
wants to buy a
baguette.
toothbrush?
Save it for later, surely. He didn't have nothing like that, man. Didn't have a
No,
fridge.
you
or
can't
anything.
always assume with the homeless side. That's what I've noticed.
No,
like,
yeah,
bro,
you're right.
There's sometimes
You're
like, bro, I don't know if you know this. You know how common it is for homeless people to get their shoes stolen?
Yeah.
Like, stupid common. So like, bro, half the time they got to get a couple quid just to be able to go charity shop and grab a new pair of shoes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
But it's just everywhere out there. In Barcelona, I found this year. You know what I mean? It's everywhere. There's a lot more homeless, a lot more. Someone nicked
oh
your
yeah,
hat.
oh yeah. So well, they didn't. I chased them down and I got it back. But yeah, fuck no. And I like, bro, there's like spray paint on all the walls that say "tourists go home." There's tourists that get stabbed like all the time for like a Gucci bag or some shit. Like, bro, I couldn't walk down the street wearing this. No way. Absolutely no way.
No, it's attraction. I was with Golden State Labs and Mr. Gelati, and they was leaving. We was in the spot Barcelona.
Yeah.
And they went to leave, and they was all
Oh yeah.
pulling over their watches
yeah,
and all
yeah.
covering their sort of things.
Yeah,
I said,
bro,
no,
like-
boys, 100% to make you right. Do you know what I mean?
And that's just to get to the taxi that's waiting outside for him.
Literally,
Yeah.
it was outside the door.
Yeah.
And that's how dodgy it is. I don't like that.
That's why I haven't been going much.
I
this
like
year.
a relaxed vibe. I know Amsterdam's.
I
shit
like
happens-
Amsterdam now. Like,
Shit happens in Amsterdam
of
as
course,
well.
but the same stuff that
it's
happens in Amsterdam is the
so
same
much
stuff that
nicer.
happens in like London, right? Like, obviously, if you have like a fucking £50,000 watch on your wrist, like somebody's gonna try and steal it, right?
Yeah,
But like, don't go out into the city centre of any fucking place with a £50,000 watch on. Are you fucking stupid?
What are you
like,
doing? Unless you're
you
a
know?
bit about yourself and, you know.
Oh, unless you have
different gravy,
actual big boy money and you can afford to pay like 6 security to be around you all the time, innit?
Exactly.
Like, you know, then you don't do that shit. Like, it's
No,
dumb.
exactly.
But like, you know, so in Amsterdam it's
situations
not
you
really
can
that
avoid.
bad, you know. Like in Amsterdam you can walk around in full drip, like nobody's gonna fucking like do nothing, right?
No, that's right. I find it a lot better in terms of you haven't got to sign up to all the clubs as well. I don't know what it's like. I've obviously always been connected going to Barcelona or Tenerife, so I've always sort of not had to worry about how do I get a membership, how do I get on the social clubs, etc. Have you got any advice to anyone who maybe wants to go to these places and want to get into a club? What's the best sort of way to go about it?
Bro, you just turn up.
Literally.
Like, no cap, yeah, like the most places will just accept you as a new member if you go in and say, my mate told me to sign up.
Yeah, just send
There's a
them
couple
message.
that will give you a discount if you say that you saw my video,
Yeah.
but that only counts for places that I've made videos about,
Yeah,
obviously.
cool.
But like, generally speaking, most clubs won't ask for like a legit referral.
Yeah.
Like they could be like, oh, what's your mate's name? And you could just be like, oh, well, I know him through weed, so I just know him as Smokey Joe 420 on Instagram. You know? And they'll be like, alright. You know? They'll be like, I'll put myself down as the referral, you know? And they'll just be like, here you go. come
Whereas
in, you know?
Amsterdam, you haven't got none of that.
Yeah.
Amsterdam, you just freely sort of
Yeah.
in and out, coffee shops, you look at some weed, don't like it, walk out.
But they're
off to
also
the next
small.
one.
That's the only other thing. That's the only
They
advantage
are.
that the Spanish coffee shops have.
Yeah, and there's
It's
a
like the
reason
big-
for that, no?
what, like with the licenses and stuff? Yeah.
In terms of the licenses and stuff,
Yeah,
so
it's pretty
volumes
big.
of people, etc.
That's
I mean,
all just about
3DME,
the square footage of the building. They like don't give licenses out to like things over like I don't know, square foot. So I don't know if I want to give a guesstimate, but it's some fair small square foot that's super hard to get.
And there's a lot of legalities there as well, which obviously can go and find out on your YouTube as well. Is Amsterdam legal? Which is, I watched it earlier and it's very, very interesting, mate. And it highlights even more. There's such a grey area with cannabis across the world. You know what I mean? Across the world. How was America in terms of going a tourist, getting weed?
I mean,
you're connected, so it was a lot easier for you, I'm assuming. But
I don't know how much I can say right now about America. Just in the sense of I'm really trying to get a visa right now.
Yeah.
Which obviously, like, if I'm going to be able to get one, they're obviously going to know about my channel and know about the weed. And like, obviously, like, I've already had that come up at visa interviews as a reason why I'm not out there right now. But previous stuff, I have never bought weed in America ever.
I like that.
For the time being.
And that's the beauty of it, is because you're a very respectful man. I like that.
I just want to be a bit careful because I will find out in like some
100%. But if it's like, I mean, I hear it so many times as people saying, I'm going to America, there's a group of us going and we're going to go and do this and go and do that. I don't think it's that easy. I've never been myself, but I don't
It wasn't
think
back in the day. But now
it's not like Amsterdam.
Now it is. Yeah,
now it is.
Yeah, what the fuck?
On the
it's
levels
all
of
recreational
Amsterdam.
now. If you're 21 plus, you just fucking walk into a fucking place and
Straight like that.
buy some bud, lime.
Okay, then I need to go America. I need to look at visas.
Holy
I
shit.
need to get involved. There is something that does interest me though at the moment, which is Thailand. I'm seeing so many videos out there.
Bro, if anyone watching wants to give me a nice sponsor to go Thailand, then bro, I'm looking for like.
I'm with you as well, by the way.
We'll talk numbers in the DMs, but like you understand, like, you know, I need to be able to get out there, film stuff and make a profit. So
yeah, cool.
You know, like,
but I think it's important to go out there and show what's going on out there.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing it obviously on smaller pages.
I think it's too early. It's too early right now. Like, if you went out there right now, like this, it's just full of trappers. Like, it's just full of people who are like,
everyone's
you know,
trying to get
every man for themselves. And as cool as that would be to go to, it's kind of like how New York is right now. It's like every man for themselves until the real dispensaries come in. I want to go to Thailand and film it when there's like some sort of Thai custom. You know, there's like a set price. There's like, you know, the quality. You know, all of that stuff. Like right now, it's just one store might be run by an American, another one might be run by some Thai guy, another one might be run by some English mate. You know, like. Yeah, of course. And some bits might be fucking stupid price. Like I've seen white runts for like 16 a gram, like 60, like the equivalent of like £16 a gram. And I'm like, what? You're in Thailand right now. I'm expecting that shit to be like £4 a gram.
Cheap.
Like,
yeah. I get a hotel for 50p a night.
Bro. Not even that, bro. You get like a proper mansion with like your own pool for like 35 quid a night. Man. You're telling me that that's the same as 2 gram of white runts? Are you mad? Are you mad?
There's levels, isn't there?
What?
Levels, and
I wouldn't swap a night at a place like that for 2 gram of white runts. Like, are you fucked?
I mean, I don't know what the laws are. I don't know what the import laws are.
It's so hard to find out. Everyone tells me different things, and
everyone's just saying to me, if you can land something out there, then you do it. But I ain't risking things like that.
Yeah, of course,
I'm not about that life.
No.
But yeah, I do want to go. I'm interested in going. India's another place that really fascinates me.
Cold. There's not much left.
Do you want another one, mate?
That's very cold.
Get another one on the go, baby. I'll have one, mate, as it goes as well, if that's all right.
Everyone is like, yo,
anyone else involved. But yes, it's across the world. It's becoming more and more normalised. I mean, you've got rappers making their own bags now, their own packs, their own weeds. It is coming fast and more normalised. But India is another place that fascinates me. It always has done with their hashes.
I'm going to India.
I'm
going to India, yeah. Because my mate, it's going to sound so strange, yeah, but one of my homies called Dakota Win. He's another YouTuber. He's a really good homie of mine. I met him in America. I went to like 35 states with this guy, right? Like, I know this guy. Bro, he loves going to India to go to like the mountains where they have all like the charas and that.
Okay, yeah.
And apparently, there's these cannibals that are like there in the mountains that like say that their weed is the best, and they're always sat there like smoking their weed, and like whenever he comes by or like any foreigner comes by, they're always like, "Oh, weed is the best, yeah." And
That's
yeah,
very mad.
bro. Well, that same homie, yeah, boom. I don't know how he's done it. I don't know where he got it from, yeah. But he's in India. He must have just seen somebody with like some Cali men. He must have paid big bucks in India for this shit, yeah. But bro, he's found some Cali in the city.
Wow.
And he's gonna bring it to him.
He's going to bring it to him, what, for when you're there?
He's not done it yet, yeah. But bro, he's gonna bring it to him. And like be like, this is real weed. Because apparently their weed is shit.
That's
But at the same time, I know a lot of red flags might be going up in some hunters' heads, like, you can't be replacing their genetics.
Yeah,
I've told him that, like, I said, no matter what you fucking do, I was like, no matter what you do, don't bring genetics there, you don't bring seeds there. You show them the good flower, you show them what, like, crazy genetics are from across the world, right? But don't ever give them the genetics, because they'll just replace all of their stuff that's been there for millions of years for this new gelato. Yeah. You know, like, oh no, imagine, bro, 3 years time, you go to like the fucking Milana fucking mountains or whatever, yeah, and you're like, oh, what have you got? And they're like, no, they're not. And then the like Indian geezer like says something in Indian, and then the translator, you know, you're there expecting it to be like, oh yeah, this is like the pheno of the Milana cream from like this mountain that we took over here and we de-rooted and all this, and he goes, yeah, it's runts.
That would be crazy.
That would be so peak, bro.
Because
apparently that's what's happening in like Jamaica and in South Africa. Like you go to South Africa and you go to Jamaica and all you see is like lemon haze.
Oh, yeah.
Like all the lamb race is gone. Not all of it, but like a lot of it is gone.
Yeah.
It's just bare lemon.
Oh my god. Just ruined like.
This like history.
You go out there and get a bit of lemon haze you could get from Essex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's probably the only place that you could still get lemon haze right now as well.
Yeah, that's it.
In England, yeah.
Yeah, mate, that's mental. But yeah, there's so many places I'd love to visit. What about one of your best ventures that you've been on? Because I know you've been on some mad ones, sleeping in a van and.
Yeah. The one trip that I miss, right? And it's not like a serious. I would love to just have somebody else to do it again with, right? Because essentially, I haven't been in a relationship for like 4.5, 5 years, somewhere around there, like for 5 years.
Yeah.
But the chick I was dating before, yeah, she was American, and I couldn't go to America. And at first, we just used to go to like Amsterdam together, and like that's kind of how we like would meet up, and like we would shit with each other every 3 weeks or so. It was pretty fucking insane. And eventually, she tried to come to England to meet my parents and shit, and they didn't let her in. They flew her home. No way. So like she was banned from my country, and I was banned from hers, and it was like this mad Romeo and Juliet, like
shit.
You're not allowed to see each other type thing. It was crazy, yeah. But the one thing I miss about all of that, yeah, is that this was like when I first discovered Barcelona and shit. We did one trip where she flew out to Amsterdam, picked her up from the airport, and then we stayed in Amsterdam for like maybe 3 days. Like, you know, I showed all like the stuff there, and then we drove in my fucking shit. At the time, I had a shitty Mazda 2 that was all spray painted. We drove all the way from Amsterdam through down to Barcelona, and I'd only had my license for like not long. But I'd already driven Barcelona before then, to be fair. But I didn't have my license for long.
Just a cool road trip.
And yeah, bro, it was just amazing because it was the first time I'd gone to Barcelona for weed anyway, and like to discover the cannabis clubs, and it was just mad, like sleeping in the car, like driving through France, and like being with somebody else to just like.
Do you remember like your first coffee shop experience? Was it obviously Amsterdam or?
Yeah. I remember my first coffee shop experience. Was Amsterdam, yeah. Not my first dispensary, obviously. Well, yeah, yes, on this. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. The first coffee shop experience was in Amsterdam.
First ever.
Yeah, but yeah.
But that, do you remember
shop,
that experience, like walking into a coffee shop?
Yeah, coffee shop Babylon.
Wow.
Coffee shop Babylon. They were so nice. They're still so nice to this day. There's some like shitty little coffee shop. Yeah. Just in like some back street.
If you've never been like to Amsterdam or Barcelona or maybe Tenerife or any of these sort of countries that sort of that lay on for cannabis users, I'd say, for consumption, it's one of the best experiences you can ever go through because of the amount of weed and the choices that you get. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
anyone's from the UK and you sort of might just meet Dave down a local sort of back alley or something, do you know what I mean? Getting started on
Well, no, okay, so for me, I had menus way before then.
Yeah.
Even when I was in England before I went to America, I had like menus, like good menus.
Serious, man.
Yeah.
Right, cool, mate. Yeah, it's, I've always sort of done all right, really, because I sort of got to know growers when I was growing back in the day. So when you get to know growers, it becomes different. You share each other's, and do you know what I mean, that side of it. So I've always sort of been plugged right, really.
Yeah.
But it's always done well. If you could have one chance to consume with anybody, dead or alive, what would it be? Where would it be? And with who?
So what would I be smoking on as well? Like,
Yeah.
what would it be? Who would it be, and where?
So it's sort of a bit of a highlight to people what your favourite strain is, I'm assuming.
I always say the same person
Yeah.
whenever I get asked this question, right? But I've never been asked the other two, alright? So 100,000,000%, if I could smoke with anyone dead or alive, it'd be the Queen. The Queen that just died. Yeah.
Okay.
Bro, like, imagine that Twitter profile picture. That Instagram profile picture of me with the Queen, like, and just a picture in general, like, that go mega viral, man. And also, I'd love to smoke weed with the Queen. That would have been amazing. Like, that would have been like the most surreal experience you ever have in your life.
Yeah,
But
imagine.
where? I would want her to invite me into Buckingham Palace
It'd have
to
be
blaze up in there. Yeah.
That would be mad.
100%.
Think about it.
And what would I be smoking on?
What would you give the Queen?
Bro,
You know what I mean?
I don't know if anyone remembers this company called Not Some Bullshit Company. NSBC or...
No, vaguely.
It was
Remember
in
saying to do
tins.
with
It was in
bullshit?
tins.
Yeah.
Well, they did turn out to be bullshit because they fucking disappeared.
Yeah,
they
it was,
were in
yeah.
the market for like 4 months.
It was
and
all
then they-
bullshit.
and then, yeah, they were bullshit. But they did this Do-Si-Do Gold.
Okay.
And it was the best Do-Si-Do I ever smoked in my life. And they had weird little edible gold flakes, like the same gold that they have on the gold rolling papers. Just like sprinkled on it for no fucking reason. But I feel like that would be the perfect thing to give to the Queen, you know?
So, yeah.
Like gold canned weed, like, this
Gold
is the best of the
Rizzlers.
best, for your majesty. You know, like...
Did you get the 24 carat gold Rizzlers, isn't it? Or
Yeah, you can, yeah, by
Yeah.
Shine, innit? Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
Shine
alright,
gold.
they smoke good. They smoke
Yeah,
pretty
I
good,
think
yeah.
I've got some up there.
We should have
they
smoked
are
one.
pretty Mad. I know, yeah, there is one up there. We'll get one. Beans, are they up there? I'm sure they're up there.
The
Oh,
Shine
they're
papers.
in the top drawer of the tower, gold Rizzlers. There's a little box in the top drawer on the left. Gold Rizzlers. Pow.
Oh shit, okay.
Go on, bro, I'll let you bill it.
How many came in the six? The 6 came in the pack.
Yeah, we've gone for a few.
I can imagine. How many are left?
Probably one.
Oh no. Oh, it is one. Oh, thank you.
But yeah, I'll let you bill it. Cheers, bro. Top man. Cheers, Beans. Legend. What are we smoking on, peoples? Anything nice?
Lobster fucking main.
You on the lobster main and all?
Yeah, just got a new batch, bro, literally as you was...
Yeah? What, show us then?
Yeah, come on. What the fuck?
Can't just say that, you know what I mean? Show us, bro. Plugged right in the building. There's a bally in my bag, if you want that.
There's not enough left in there for a doobie, so I think it's got to be this. I think it's got to be this one.
Good. Don't want to see you in it. Come on. Come on, geese. God, look at this, look. In the building.
Oh shit.
Oh, wow. Some of these nugs, bro.
See, a lot of people, yeah, they don't understand, like, how life goes. Like, a lot of people, they just see, like, they see me smoking, they see the content,
Well.
bro, the people who think I smoke fake Cali, holy fuck. Bro, and then they see, like, bro, like,
It's just levels, isn't it? It's levels.
oh, that's not
How would you tell, sort of, I know these are obviously real, but how would you tell?
So, it all depends, alright? Because how annoying is the fact that they hyped up the fucking stickers, the approved stickers, so much, and then, like, I think like 2 weeks after they did them, they ran out, and a batch went out without them. And then after that, like they did them for a long time, but nowadays, like the main lobster, I get that it's so new that you don't really need to put the approved sticker on, right? Because the bags hadn't been faked yet or whatever. But I don't know. I see so many packs that I know are 100% legit without the approved stickers. So it's all about like the feel of the pack and the bud inside. To be honest, like it's the best. That's the best way to know. Like,
someone who we know quite well, Fire Drops. When he brought out his concepts of the QR code on the back, and then you get an NFT.
And then you get the NFT,
So once you claim your NFT, that's it. That pack's
I couldn't
done.
never get that to work.
No, I couldn't.
I couldn't never get the NFT.
It never come through. He done it for me. It come through.
It didn't work. Something in the website didn't work. I couldn't remember what it was.
Blimey, but that actual idea and then bringing that to life, he spoke about it before on the best way to verify a bag, and that just, for me, that was ideal. Because
and shit, for
NFT
anyone who's watching
done.
who might think, oh, it didn't work because it was fake, bro. Fire Drops gave me the pack.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a case of definitely didn't work because of that.
Fuck's sake, some people, man.
But yeah, I had to download something. I can't remember what it was. I had to download something to receive it.
I tried getting the app or whatever, but
yeah.
something on it didn't work. Oh, it might not be an app, but it might be like a website. Something didn't work.
Of course. Fire Drops was to sponsor our first 5 episodes. We did a load of prelims. And we did a load of footage that didn't work previously to this, and then obviously we used the bud during them shows, and it didn't sort of pan out right. So the bud's gone. Do you know what I mean? But
the bud's gone.
Yeah. So it wasn't gone to waste though. It wasn't gone to waste. Yeah, the jars of Fire Drops all done.
Nice.
So yeah, it was nice weed, wasn't it?
That's sad.
But yeah, so. We've obviously moved on to no-tills and stuff, which I'm grateful for because I'm absolutely stoned off this joint. It's absolutely licked me. But yeah, thanks. Plugging right over there, Nugs Flavours. Great stuff, mate. Great stuff. Cheers, brother. It's hot, man. Yeah, absolutely fire bit of weed, mate. Absolutely fire. So what are we rolling now? We're rolling that in the gold shine.
Yeah, the main lobster in the gold ting.
24k gold rolling papers.
Oh yeah.
Bit of shine. But yeah, it's I've smoked them before. They leave like little gold ash as well.
Yeah.
That's mad, isn't it? But, what would you say is your focus for like 2023? Your journey, where you're going, where you're heading? What's sort of your aims?
I want to continue doing what I'm doing right now, which is like push more professional stuff, more like actual whole crew hired type thing with like professional team and stuff. So it's just I don't really have a plan like that, but
that's obviously the improvement that you want to make. The Israel video was absolutely mad, wasn't it?
Oh shit, yeah. I mean, those ones I just make. Well, I was just making them on my phone. I just actually got a camera for the first time in like 5 years. Yeah, I've been making everything off my phone or off a webcam.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bought this new camera for the Amsterdam series, and it's just so beautiful. So everything's going to be on that. I want to do a Canada series.
Yeah.
I really want to do a Canada series.
Yeah, Canada interests me because I was one of the first.
I just don't want to do it on YouTube. Like I want to do it on like an actual streaming platform. So I've been pitching it to a couple of places. I can't really say too much, but it's hard to get in contact with a lot of these people, and it's hard to like proper consistently set up these meetings and stuff when it's all through third parties. But I do see it happening. I really do.
Course. I mean, you must have a lot of companies approaching,
Yeah. I mean, I've got everything pretty much sorted. Like it's more just we need somebody to like get the funding from, whether it be through like a streaming service saying right, here's the funding and then it will go out on us, or whether it's like a sponsor which says right, we're going to take a gamble, here's the funding, and hopefully you find somebody to
Promote,
actually you put it on a streaming site after it's finished, because if it was finished and you have like the really nice finished product, it's a lot easier to sell that to a network than it is if you just have an idea.
What about TV channels?
That's basically the point, but streaming service is probably more the suit, but even still I have been thinking about TV channels as well.
It'd be great to get into some sort of mainstream media with it.
Yeah, I can't talk too much about the TV channel stuff because of the people I've been speaking to, but it is there, it's in the works. It's more just the bump in the road I have right now with that is that Canada has the weirdest laws for like doing work out there, like not doing work, but like filming out there. Like, it's really weird. Because originally I was like, well, I could get it to go out on a Canadian network. But if you want it to go out on a Canadian network, there's weird laws around that. Like, a certain amount of people who work on the show have to be Canadian.
Okay,
And like,
so it's
I
all
think
part of employing
like the
locals,
presenter
etc.
might have to be Canadian, and you get more like something if you're more Canadian in the content.
mad,
And it's like, what? I've never heard that shit from anywhere, you know.
Yeah.
So
Because I've heard they got some mad restrictions on the percentages of bud out there. as
yeah,
well.
yeah, it's just everything's a bit weird out there. But I think the way it's probably going to go is probably not going to be on a Canadian thing. It will just be like with a Canadian production team, and then we have to find like either an English streaming site or like, you know, an international streaming site.
Can you still vlog? Can you still sort of vlog your trip and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
yeah,
It's
of
just
course,
the
yeah,
actual
yeah, yeah.
filming for the show.
Yeah, yeah, because it's going to be, the whole show is going to be comparing the legal market to the black market, and seeing which provinces have actually moved into the legal market and
Okay.
which ones haven't.
Yeah.
And then also sorry.
Right, mate. It's alright.
I was
There's priorities
focused on the
taking
joint.
place.
Shit, I forgot what I was going to say.
I was talking about Canada, different provinces.
Oh yeah. So there'll be some provinces that have moved fully to like the legal market, but you hear from a lot of Canadians that the legal market's still popping. But I hear a lot of things about like, you know, Canadians don't want to pay more than like 150 Canadian dollars for like a zip. Like that's like the maximum top shelf price.
Wow.
That's like 90 quid.
Yeah.
Or like 80 quid.
If I'm honest, the flour I've ever tried that's ever come through Canadian, I don't want to pay more than 90 quid for it either.
Well, exactly, right? Because none of the top shelf growers out
honest.
there are gonna, you know, grow some crazy shit and then not
Send
have,
it,
you know, and
yeah.
then not get the right price for it, right? Like all those growers with those genetics who grow like 10-10, they're gonna go somewhere else. Like,
Yeah, of course, 100%. Do you think, I mean, obviously you try the Calis that we get here and we land here. You've obviously been out to America and tried their stuff out there. Is there a difference?
no. I mean, if you've got...
We're getting the good stuff.
I mean, there's a difference in the sense of like the Cali that we smoke here isn't the Cali that people smoke in Cali.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Obviously,
But, like,
you're gonna get...
like it's so weird. Like the normal stuff that everyday people smoke Cali-wise in the UK is the type of stuff that like only rappers and shit smoke on in Cali.
Okay, yeah.
Like or people who are like fully in the cannabis scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all 10-10. Yeah, so what would you say you prefer if you had a choice of organic, Cali, UK, any flower in the world? What would be your go-to? Would it be straight for a Cali?
I think if I could get any flower in the world, it'd be from like not anything specific, but like the type of flower would be like a 10-10 master grower in Cali who does black market stuff.
Yeah.
I think that'd be the best because that's when like you get the best of both worlds. You get like the good grow facility and everything being able to be set up as if it's legal and like no risk and like the best cure and stuff. But then at the same time, you don't have the dispensary side of things where it's like, oh, you know, it could have been on the shelf for like 4 months, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I think that's always probably going to be the best option, like some black market Cali. Even if it's like the stuff that goes into the dispensary, if it's black market, it's probably going to be more fresh.
Yeah, definitely. Have you tried Terps coat?
Yeah. I tried them for the first time at Field Has Eyes.
Yeah, so it's not a bad smoke. I quite like it.
Actually, no, it wasn't the first time. The first time I tried them was from here.
Oh, was it?
From the Lust.
Yeah, the Lust. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then I tried the VVS runs.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah,
VVS nice. Yeah, he's a small time grower out in America. I'm not exactly sure where he is. I don't think he's in California, but I know he's in America. He uses organic stuff, and yeah, I was quite impressed with his stuff. To be fair.
Yeah.
Nice to have some organic stuff from over the pond.
Yeah.
As such, but yeah, it's as that gold spliff lighting.
Oh yeah, it's gonna spark up. 10-10. It's mad when you do these with like really crazy white ash bud because it makes the whole ash just go like fully gold rather than just like specks.
Yeah. Such a distinctive role for anybody. Yeah, who knows Drew or knows his joints. It's so distinctive, mate. We're gonna do some pre-rolls soon.
Oh yeah.
Get them out there with good stuff. What would you say is like a weed of yours which absolutely wowed you the first time you had it?
Like recently or just ever?
Like, yeah, whenever.
Um,
Obviously, you get given a lot of bud that
yeah, of course.
people testing and stuff. And
But I think one of the first ever times where I had like a time I was like, wow, this is like, you know, 10 flavour wise, like not necessarily in the high. Like I've had other bud before then where the flavour was good and the high was good and everything was like, you know, I'd be like, oh, that was the best. But the first one where I was like, oh my god, this flavour is probably the best flavour. Oh, actually, now I'm debating myself on whether it would.
because there is a lot that's standard in the UK.
I mean, no, it wasn't even UK. The one
Oh,
I'm
it
thinking
wasn't
about is Gelato 33 from Jungle Boys.
Oh, okay.
Like that creamy flavour
Yeah.
was something really new for me.
I
I'd had a lot of OG,
33
like
though to a 41. I prefer 33 over 41 all day.
you just don't see it done good anymore. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think
Even
it got-
Jungle Boys 33 isn't good anymore.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, you rated that one though. Yeah, you rated that.
That original one in like the half-ounce bags, that
Yeah,
was
of course.
so good. Holy shit.
Good smokes, mate.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, it's the cost as well. Smoking all them fire. It's not cheap, mate, is it?
No.
It really ain't cheap. I mean, obviously, if you plug right, it's happy days.
Yeah.
But it's not cheap out there. And for anyone who, I mean, we sit here, we're smoking the best of the best and stuff like that. I do smoke a lot of UKs. I prefer the UKs to maybe the Caddies as
Yeah.
such. I'm obviously no till over anything. But yeah, BioBiz grows. I like BioBiz grows. I like a lot of the Terps that come through. But yeah, as long as it's clean smoke for me, mate, it's just so enjoyable. So enjoyable. So nice. And yeah, a lot of caddies you get are clean. It's just PGRs. I'm not.
That's
a
the
big
thing.
fan of
The
PGRs.
only reason I get so much Cali right now is because like I've spent a lot of time smoking so many different brands. So I know like, okay, this brand is good, this brand is good, and like when it comes to UK,
Consistency of the
yeah,
brands,
like
yeah.
when it comes to UK, like you know, I don't know if I'm gonna buy this and then it's just gonna be straight trash. But like with the Calis, I can experiment a bit. I can like buy something I've never heard of and be like, oh well, let's buy this brand, so I know it's gonna be grown 10-10.
And I think that's where the illegality comes in this country, because there is some absolutely fantastic growers, and given the right facilities,
Well, don't get me
given
wrong, I
the
know
right
some
stuff, I think we
amazing
could,
growers.
you know what I mean? We could make that happen, no problem.
Bro,
do you know what I mean?
well, I think it does happen, no problem. But it's just for someone like myself in my position, it's a lot easier to get Cali consistently than it is UK, because like I know all the growers myself, right?
Yeah, of course.
So for me, it's just like I can only get bud when it drops,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, when
like,
it's there, yeah, of
Because what's
course.
the point of me paying double the price from like a vendor when I can just get it from the actual guy for cheaper?
Who
Now, that makes
grows it.
no fucking sense, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, smoke UK when it's there and available, but why would I pay £280 or whatever to get a zip off some reseller when I could have got it for £2 bill?
Yeah.
It's just so
Yeah.
It's just there isn't a lot of UK for me to smoke a lot of the time, you know.
No, of course.
Yeah.
What's talking about price ranges? I know everything's going mad at the minute in terms of the price of zips, etc. Cheers, mate. What would you pay? Top rack, UK's
For
Cali's,
UK, 300.
300.
And that would have to be like the 10th of 10 of the best bud, right? I think for more realistic would be like 280. Like that would have to be like some hype bud for me to pay $3 for
Yeah.
it. But
Ideally, what's your ideal price?
ideally, for just like normal top shelf bud that's just like, you know, really nice bud, would like 200.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you've got to expect to pay between 200 and 250, as I say.
Yeah.
For 10 bud. That
Yeah,
depends
yeah.
on the grower. I also believe that every grower names his price, and he,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean, he's welcome to name his price.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I prefer to get it from a grower where I can get it for a lot cheaper than a
It
vendor.
does
but-
annoy me with some of the vendors and etc. who are just out there for money, etc. Which, don't get me wrong, we all want to make a living,
Yeah.
but I think there's there's greed and then there's
Yeah.
normality.
Well, a lot of them vendors don't even smoke, so they don't even know what's good and what's not. So it's like, you know, at least you get it from a grower. They'll tell you straight up like what the terps are, like, you know, how it's smoking, you know, like if it's for you, like, because they don't mind. They're gonna be able to sell it anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know?
Mate, that is fire, isn't it?
yeah.
Absolute fire. Don't know if you can see that on the camera. They might zoom in, but absolute fire that is. Bro. A And again, don't make me cough on the pure. So I've got to change. I've got to switch it over, mate. I've got to get rid of nicotine. I know I've got to get rid of it. It's my dad suffers with emphysema, so it's a good sign. I've got his genetics. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Me, I need to fucking stop smoking cigarettes as well. So it's like, yeah. But I'm planning on doing it over Christmas. But
I think we've all got our things, haven't we, that we want to do and targets that we want to make. But Drew, honestly, it's been a fantastic show.
Yeah, fucking hell, I've been
coming
going for a
on,
long
mate.
time.
Yeah,
It's
I
been
think
good.
it's nearly been a couple of hours or whatever, but it's no, thanks ever so much for coming down, mate, and recording it with us and sharing some of your stories. Yeah, for anyone who again, go and head over to Drew's YouTube channels, Instagram, Twitch. I watch you a lot on Twitch as well.
Yeah, the Twitch is fun. Like,
Yeah,
really,
it's
really
good.
fun.
Good laugh, and you can obviously show a bit more than what you can on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Patreon, you on Patreon?
Yeah, I've got a Patreon. I'm a bit inactive on it right now, but I think by the time this comes out, I should be a lot more active on it.
Yeah,
The
cool.
thing I'm mainly pushing is my Twitter, because Twitter you can
Twitter,
post
yeah.
bud as much as you want. So
There you go.
yeah.
That's all about the Twitter then, because Instagram's just it's a bit of a nightmare showing bud etc. Or it's shutting people down. It's
Yeah.
a bit of a nightmare. Although there is quite a big community on there.
Yeah,
It's mad, but honestly, mate, thanks for coming down. I really appreciate you, and
It's been
yeah,
lovely.
thanks everyone at home for tuning in. This has been the first episode. Great episode. Smoked some fantastic bud.
Some banging bud.
Yeah, some great stories made from yourself, and yeah, it's been a journey for me to get to this stage, and yeah, to actually sit here and film with you, mate. It's been
Oh, it's been lovely, man.
appreciate
Yeah.
it, bro. But for anyone who's maybe just tuning in for the first time and just knows who I am, has never seen me before, Chongas420 on Instagram. You can find me out. Check me out. Come and see what I do, what I'm about. I'm not going to give away too much.
Yeah, no, you just got to see it. That's the thing.
That's it. But yeah, my journey's beginning with cannabis, and it's been a fantastic journey so far, and long may it continue, mate. I love it. I love the stuff. I love the medicinal purposes. I love everything about it. So it's been a passion of mine for many years, and it's only right for me that I do this, and yeah, it's been fantastic, and long may it continue, mate. But yeah, thanks to the audience. Thanks a lot for coming down and seeing it all. Been fantastically quiet. And no, it's been a
couple of bish and bashes and boshes.
bit of mooching about going on. Yeah, no, it's been been fantastic viewing. Hope you viewers at home enjoy watching. Stay focused on your dreams, peoples. Stay shining,
That's the main one.
and most of all, stay golden.
Hey.
Take care. Thanks a lot. Cheers, Joe. Top man. Thanks everyone. Smashed it. I need a piss,
That's
mate.
it.